Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Thursday, July 25th, 2019. My name is Rich, and joining me once again to cover ANW11 Atlanta City Finals is Bijan. How you making out?
I'm good, my man. Feeling great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. This week's episode is presumably out on time, but I feel like we need to get ahead of ourselves and say that, we didn't have a great week last week. I apologize for that, and I need to apologize ahead of time for next week, because next week's will definitely be late.
Yeah, my bad for last week, y'all. What was it, a curse? Somebody pointed out, it's a constant thing.
Yes, the LA City Finals. The curse of the LA Finals has returned. We had 1 year, I think. I haven't looked back. I don't remember anything from last year, but the 2 years prior were cursed, and it's come back.
I don't know, man. Comic-Con was happening. My mind was somewhere else. But my bad, y'all.
No, that's okay. I think everyone understood. It's San Diego Comic-Con. I think a lot of us would have been a little distracted as well.
Yeah, craziness. I hosted a panel this year. I was on the news for three different times. It was just a lot going on my side. But it was a very, very fun weekend. Gotta say.
That's awesome. Lots of good trailers came out. Everybody's happy when Comic-Con season comes. It's like Nerd Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. And man, one year we gotta have an A&W podcast. It's gotta happen.
Yes, we will have a panel some year. We will figure it out.
Yes.
But it's the hard thing about that though is for a panel is me getting to San Diego. Right, I'm so far away from you. It seems like almost feels like it'll never happen that we'll get to actually meet in person.
It'll never happen, man. It's unfortunate.
Except maybe next week. Next week actually would be a good time for me to go there, I think.
What do you mean, Rich?
I'm going to San Diego.
Oh, snap, y'all. It's happening. It's finally happening.
That's right. Next week, we will be recording our first in-person podcast after 4 years of doing this.
Oh, it's going to be so weird.
It is. It's going to be very, very weird.
Like a video of us standing next to each other and interacting. It's going to be weird, man. But I'm really, really excited to have you over in San Diego, show you this beautiful city, and you can experience how insanely hot it is right now. Oh my gosh, out of nowhere, it went from 70s, 80s to BAM! High 90s. Ooh, it is hot right now.
Oh, I picked a great time to go. Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get sunburned. But hey,
oh, no.
Hey, it's a good swimming time. And speaking on that note, I know a few people wanted to know how my swimming lessons have been going. Gotta say, I have been improving steadily a lot. The first week that I started, I was like, man, it's just not happening. At this point, I can tread water, which is basically floating, the top part. I can, do the little backstroke thingy-majigger where, you're laying on your back, floating on top of water, arms on the side. Do the side stroke. Forward freestyle, I think it's called. I can do it holding my breath. I am still trying to work on that little side breathing thing. That is just the one thing I can't get down. But it just takes time and repetition. I'm going to get it.
Man, you put in the work. Most people would just be trying to just, do the very basics. It sounds like you're going all in. I love your passion for everything you do.
Man, you gotta, if you're doing it, go all the way. And one thing that I'm really happy about is I am apparently very, very proficient in terms of the technique involved with swimming. I can swim very, very fast, apparently. It's just, that little kind of, that small little thing called breathing. Kind of important. So I gotta get that down. Otherwise, none of the other parts matter.
Yeah, if we learned anything from Najee Richardson, it's that, the breath control is a pretty good part of it.
Yeah, kind of important.
Speaking of Najee and the ninjas, let's take a look at this episode here. This was a pretty good one.
Best episode of the season. Calling it
really?
now. Yes, I love this episode.
Wow, I don't think I would have gone that hard on it, but it was it was good. It was definitely a good episode.
Oh man, it brought a lot of drama, and for me, there was never any storylines or vignettes that I didn't care for. They were all very engrossing. The runs, I gotta say, very, very entertaining, and I really liked the course. So all around, I really, really liked this.
All right, so the new obstacles. Let's take a look at those first. Up for grabs. Other than having what I think might be the worst name for an obstacle I've ever heard.
Yeah, pretty bad.
What did you think of that one?
I think it was dope, man. I mean, it was very creative. It's one of those obstacles where there's not many rooms for for error. I mean, you got to get on your first try. But it reminds me a lot of like a smaller version of the Double Dipper. Simply, I guess, because of the transition. I guess in the second part. But I really like this creative element where you have to, like, in the middle of a transition, grab the bar and then hook it onto something else. Those types of obstacles, a lot happens in a very split second, and I love it. It's very creative, and you have to do it twice.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think it's called the bar hop, but in the bar hop, you have the bar with you and you take it along. This one, you have to grab it midway, which I didn't really appreciate as much until I started seeing them struggling with it, especially when they try to grab a switch grip. It's hard to do that midair.
Oh, yeah, switch grip, I mean, oof. It's very difficult to do that. I think this might be one of the things where, since I've done obstacles before where you have to do something midair in a transition. I don't even mean on ANW, just in practice gyms and such. I know I can appreciate how difficult that is, but maybe it doesn't come off on television. I just don't know. You can probably speak more to that, Rich. But for me, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, this is very, very difficult because your focus goes straight to the bar, but as soon as you grab the bar, the how you approach that in terms of your body momentum will really impact how you're gonna grab onto the next portion of it. And also, the biggest element of all is you grab that bar, and literally within like less than a second, you have to fully grab onto that, correct your positioning, and then brace for the impact of landing on the next part. That is the really key element, and that's where you saw a lot of people falling. It's not necessarily grabbing the bar, but grabbing the bar and then landing it. That, I cannot tell you, is so incredibly difficult because it happens so in such a short span of time.
Great points. The other obstacle we had was Fallout, which was very cool. The more you saw of it, the more you could appreciate all the little nuances that are going on there.
I felt that's the one where the visually, like, I was just like, it's there. But once again, very, very difficult. It's like a low-key difficult. That said, man, I don't know. I don't think it did justice being in the penultimate spot, like obstacle spot, simply because, and I know I've said this before, and what I mean by this is obstacles that are in the penultimate obstacle spot, sometimes they may be difficult on their own, but for ninjas that are making it to that portion of the course, that have completed everything else, they're already at a position where they can do something like that. So I wish I just see a little bit more creative type of obstacle. The switch grips and everything else like that was really cool, but I don't know, man. I feel like the ninjas that were making it to there, they weren't going to be in the type of ninjas that were going to have much issues with it.
Yeah, I think it was balanced properly though, because Up for Grabs was so difficult to have another very tough obstacle. I mean, it's tough. It certainly doesn't seem like it's easy. But I think it does suffer, like you said, from we'll call it the Area 51 effect, right? Where we saw in Stage 3, Area 51 was made to look like a joke because we saw Jeff and Isaac, completely crush it when it was there. Or we thought those UFOs weren't much of a big deal. Mm-hmm. I think it's just the caliber of ninjas that are hitting it. Like you said, if they made it through Up for Grabs, they're gonna complete this.
Yeah. Would you like to have seen those two obstacles maybe switched in terms of course order?
I think just not really, but only because of the feel for the obstacles, right? That Up for Grabs feels like that's the right spot for it. And I don't think it would it would be weird to have it in the 9th spot somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point, because you're already kind of in like that upper air position with that.
With the salmon ladder. Yeah, coming off the salmon ladder into the other one wouldn't feel quite as right.
Yeah, good point.
It's weird how they have those positions, right? You can just kind of feel like, oh, this is definitely a fourth, obstacle or a seventh obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take a look at the actual runs here. We had, first up, actually they reminded us before we even get into that there were 17 finishers and 4 mega wall completions in the qualifiers. Like, oh, so I guess we're going to be seeing a lot of the back end of the course then. I forgot that this city absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, talented ninjas. Once again, that second obstacle, not too impressed by it. But other than that, I mean, I do like the course, and especially for the back half. And I think one thing that really raised this episode was the caliber of ninjas shown.
Yeah. And the first among them being a former NFL defensive back, Tyrone Pools. And, sometimes they have athletes on here and you're like, or even professional athletes, and you're like, yeah, but, how well known are they, or how long were they there? This guy was 13 years in the NFL, won 2 Super Bowls, definitely a top level athlete.
Yeah, man. I don't know how old this guy is, but he is in such great shape. It's insane.
Yeah, he ended up falling on Off the Hook, which is a weird way to start this episode full of very deep runs. He just missed the hook, unfortunately. It didn't go as well as it did in the qualifier for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about the the run. I mean,
yeah,
a little short.
After him, we had Josiah Singleton, a country boy ninja from a small town, Brookneal, Virginia. They showed him flipping tires, chasing chickens, climbing hay bales. He really kind of had the all-in-one package for a farming ninja.
Yeah, I mean, it's a prototypical cowboy Midwest story. I feel like I've seen these many times, not only with Lance Pecos, but a variety of ninjas, living on farms and such. But something about this, I actually I didn't mind it. Sometimes I'm just rolling my eyes all right. But I think the guy's just very charming in the way that he talks, and
yeah, the accents were great.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got a very likable personality.
Yeah. At this point, Matt actually points out that there was rain earlier in the day. They really don't bring that up much normally. So when he mentioned it early in the episode, oh boy, we're going to see a lot of slipping in this episode. Yeah. And it definitely came true.
Yeah, that definitely caught my ear also. I was like, oh no. they're not saying this for no reason, Yeah,
this is definitely in the story here. His sidelines was absolutely off the charts. They were losing their minds. They jumped the fence as he did the wall. He ended up falling off the first up for grabs bar. But a good run, especially for a rookie.
He got far in, very entertaining guy. I'm really happy for him. And, his peeps, as you said, man, they were losing their minds. Props to them. Sometimes you really need peeps like that to raise the excitement and energy in the episode or for the run. He showed a lot of promise. He's not gonna win ANW anytime soon, I don't feel, but I definitely think he's somebody that we can see for a while going far.
Yeah, interesting character, someone we keep an eye out for. And another interesting character took the course after that. Neil Craver, Crazy Craver, was back.
Yes.
We had a video segment here. I was wondering, because he did the fire one time, they did the ice another. I was like, what is he going to do for a segment this year? It was a nice change of pace. They showed him getting married, honeymoon video in Mexico, but even in spite of it being a more traditional video package, it was still full of interesting, cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he totally didn't do anything crazy. Carry a boulder underneath a lake and walk on the floor of it. No. Oh my gosh, every fear imaginable for me. Ooh, that was triggering. Oh my gosh. Live your life, Neil. But woo.
Yes, it wasn't that he wasn't doing anything crazy, but I like the less artistic vision of this one. It was more of a traditional showing off my talents but yeah, he's a little crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit. But hey, I was really happy for him and his wife. They seem really, really loving, and it seems like they are living life to the fullest, like having fun.
Yes, they are. But he ended up going out on block run. The second one spun out from him. I was so disappointed in that. I thought we were going to get to see a big comeback for him this year.
Man, it's always block run. Like that obstacle, man. It's scary. It takes out the best of them.
After him, we had Caitlin Bergstrom, part of the first brother-sister duo to qualify for city finals, the Baby Bergies, which I hope I never have to say again.
Where you're going to. That said, these guys are growing on me. I'm really I like the Bergstroms because they're I gotta like, no offense, but they're kind of weird. Gotta say they're a little weird, but there's something about how talented they are and how much they put into ANW that you just gotta give them a clap of hands. Like their talent just shows all the way.
Oh yeah, clearly. She managed to beat Bouncing Spider this time. She got her leg hooked on and was able to pull herself up. She was taking the bottom of the Ferris wheels, tried to dismount from the bottom when her grip was giving out, but just couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, I mean, but that said, I mean, she's super talented. She was so excited and happy, like surprised by herself, like every single obstacle that she went further in. And I don't know, I'm really happy. It's something where you can just see the rest of the family just living vicariously through her, just so incredibly happy for her. And I really love that.
I just realized she was only the fourth run. It was the first woman they showed, and she actually went the furthest of all the women and is going to Vegas.
Yeah. Like, I like this change up of pace, and she went the harder route when it came to that Ferris wheel obstacle, too. I mean, she earned that. It was not an easy path.
Next up in the course, we had Devin Harrelson, Dougie Fresh, who has 8-month-old twin sons. Oh, boy. Boy.
That dude is busy and is not sleeping much.
Right. And in that condition, he decided that slacklining and skateboarding with the babies was a good idea. I was not on board with that. That was not good. That was giving me a minor, heart flutters there. Do not do that with your babies, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna judge anybody and tell them how to raise their kids, but I was like, oh no. That was I don't know about slacklining, guys. I slacklines are very difficult. Even the best of us can trip.
Yes. Speaking of tripping, he took a spill on block run, and Akbar made the craziest Akbarism I think I've ever heard. Did you hear what he said when he took that fall on block run?
No, what'd he say?
Almost got him in the twins.
Oh, I did. I do remember that. Oh man, yeah, that was good. I like that.
That's new. That's
almost got him in the twins. Yes, you know what's funny is I remember thoroughly that. And ANW Akbarism, shout out. I mean, you've got to have that on your Twitter.
This was his first time making it to the warped wall.
That's shocking.
Yeah, a little bit. But he ended up, which he did manage to complete, and as well as the salmon ladder, but peeled off the first bar, as we saw so many do on Up for Grabs.
Yeah.
And taking a quick look, I do not see him in the top 12. Unfortunately, was not there fast enough, so he will not be moving on to Vegas.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, block run, I feel like he got to go farther than that. Or sorry, he didn't fall in block run.
No.
That one thing. Sorry. Up for grabs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After him, we had fast forward of Glenn Davis, 56 years old, who almost tied. They didn't say the name, but I assume must be John Stewart.
It's got to be.
Yeah, 3 fails on the warped wall. He wasn't quite able to beat or tie the record for oldest person to hit a buzzer.
I'm glad
to make up the warped wall. Sorry, to make up the warped wall.
Yeah, I'm glad they showed him in fast forward. I almost wish they showed the full run or build up, because that would have been a really exciting moment. But I mean, this is such a packed episode. I understand why they didn't. Man, just there has been some other episodes where I'm like, this could have they could have used a moment like this.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought the same thing. Like, wow, I kind of would have wanted to see that. That would have been really good. But maybe we'll get to see it next year when he makes it up to Warp Wall. That'll be good.
100%. I mean, the dude, from what I saw, very talented for his age.
Yes. After that, we had Kenny Nimitalo back, who last year ran for Liza to get a kidney. This year, actually, speaking of that, her father in the segment made me cry out of the blue. I was like totally fine, completely stone-faced, enjoying the episode, but wow, he hit me right in the feels. He looked with such sincerity into the camera and talked about how, donating a kidney can save a life. Like that was powerful.
Mm-hmm. This for me was the highlight of the episode, maybe of the season, honestly. This also got me in the feels, and I also cried. And I'm kind of like known as the cynic of the pairing of us two.
Right.
Not many things get me, but this one really did. And I gotta say, a similar moment where the father was talking and choking up, and for me it really hit hard because I work with children, and I don't want to make it about that, but similar situations have happened with children that I know. And it really hits hard home, just the fact that you see this girl and you see she was seriously in danger, but because of somebody's generosity in terms of giving, donating their kidney to her, she has a full life now. We get to see her being happy, playing sports, all this stuff. And it really hit home, and it was just very beautifully paced. It was genuinely one of the beautiful things at ANW shows, and it was a really good cause. And I don't know, I thought this was just absolutely beautiful. And for the new kid, I apologize, I don't have his name, but Jordan, yeah, he just looks all kinds of adorable, and I genuinely wish that similar things will happen for Jordan. And yeah, I don't know, this is a really cool thing, and I really hope it continues. Kenny, good dude. But more importantly, for the little girl, I'm just so incredibly happy for her and her family.
Yeah, and Kenny's a great ninja too. He can kind of get missed in the shuffle of this great thing that he's doing in these segments. He's been to Vegas 6 years in a row. Was just able to beat Block Run. Got hit in the face with a log from the bouncing spiders. Like, no good deed goes unpunished. He gets whacked in the face while he's running the course.
This is the second or third time we've seen somebody really get injured by that thing.
Yeah, which is weird because it doesn't seem like it would be one of the typical dangerous obstacles. You would just think, it doesn't seem like much at all. Those things must have more weight to them than they seem.
Yeah, particularly that middle one, I feel, is probably pretty, quite sturdy.
Yeah, because he looked like that hurt a lot. He did not.
He looked pretty concussed, man. I don't think he's concussed, but he did not look in a good place.
No, he definitely did not. But he was able to continue on, beat up for grabs, and then fall out. And I was losing my mind. I'm like, are you kidding me? After this guy is running for this young kid. It was great. The segment, you kind of pass it off as being about the segment, and then when he gets whacked in the face, oh, well, that's a even better reason to show him. And then for him to actually go through and do so well on the course, I was cheering him on, but unfortunately his feet were slipping on Spider Trap, which we saw more than once this episode, and wasn't quite able to finish the last obstacle, but an amazing run.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. He overcame adversity. There was drama, unfortunately for him, but it did make the run a little bit more amped up in terms of stakes. Not only that, I mean, for me, he kept exceeding expectations with the injury that he was wearing on his face. He really was struggling. It wasn't something where he's brushing it off. He was hurting, and it was very scary. But he kept gutting it out and kept persevering. And he struggled, but man, it was entertaining, and he kept moving forward. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's the first one to get past the, I almost say get it done, whatever, the up for grabs obstacle. And he made it past the ninth obstacle as well, man. I mean, he was awesome. And yeah, he slipped, but I mean, it's not going to be the first time this episode where people slip on the spider climb. I mean, this was amazing. Kenny, you get the visually profound video of the night, and of course, you are tied for the athletically profound run of the night. This was really, really good stuff. I loved this run, and I'm very, very happy for him, and I really hope the little boy gets that kidney.
Very nice. And after that, we had a fast forward of one of your favorite ninjas, Eddie Stewart, the left-right double-double.
I mean, once again, I don't hate the guy.
No, I know you don't.
It sucks because for the amount of talent that he has, it shows that he's very passionate. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't sound like he's going to the finals. He fell pretty early, right, on block run or something like that?
Yeah, he fell on block run, yeah.
Yeah. I wish him the best. That said, very glad I don't have to watch a full segment about him.
True. And I also like to point out that he calls himself now the double-double ninja. In Canada, that refers to a coffee with 2 cream and 2 sugar.
Oh, maybe it's a thing in America too. I don't drink enough coffee for it.
I think it's strictly Canada, probably.
Gotcha.
So after him, though, we had Kevin Carbone, the maker, who's been building obstacles all over, including some wingnuts over a pool, which were pretty neat.
Yeah. Where double is not a good nickname. The maker, really, really good nickname. I like that.
Yes. And notice there's no ninja on it. Stop adding ninja to everything, everybody. Please. It's starting to drive me a little crazy. You watch wrestling and they're like, oh, look, it's the sunglass wrestler. You know, they just stop adding it.
Yeah. I feel you.
The maker, perfect.
Awesome. And it very much fits. And Kevin Carbone is, in my opinion, a huge rising star in the sport. I think the world of him and his potential. So I'm digging this.
And he showed that potential this episode for sure. He's walking. It was a little silly to watch. It actually kind of made it a little more entertaining in a weird way. He's walking on the sides of his shoes and on his heels to avoid getting his feet wet, which was both kind of visually interesting and a little funny and smart. So it did all those things in one. Yeah,
I mean, he's a smart dude. It shows very much in the video, this guy really thinks about the intricacies of obstacles. And not only the technique involved, but, how they're developed, what the intention is for the obstacles. This guy really gets it.
He also has added a new signature move that he's going to be forced to do all the time now.
Holy
crap. I absolutely loved it.
Where did that come from, man?
I know. The surprise of it made it so much better. It's like he does a 360 when he's running up the warped wall. Blew me away. Had no idea it was coming.
Dude, it's like the NBA, the super talented players that basically dunk doing a 360. This guy just ran up and just dunked on everyone that came before. He ran up that wall, did a 360, grabbed that like it was nothing. I mean, this guy is talented. If there was ever, these are the types of things where it's like, oh, they're ninjas, blah, blah, blah. And then, bam! Something like this happens, no. Y'all better pay attention to me. Damn, Kevin Carbone, you're the man.
I have to say, the warped wall became less of an obstacle, or it seemed like less of an obstacle over the years, but you just got to think back to those moments. I loved the first time I saw, and the one that stands out to me was Noah Kaufman grabbing the wall with one hand and then stopping to fist pump out at the crowd, right? Showing that he had it. As soon as he got one hand on it, he knew he was fine. And seeing Najee go soar a foot above the wall when he did his run. Those little moments on the wall mean so much, and I love that we have a new one.
Oh yeah, man. There's always standouts. It's not necessarily A&W, but in Sasuke, the finals for, I think, ANW3 or something like that, Levi Muhlenberg did a backflip off of their version of the warped wall. Dope. And there's always things like that. Najee basically jumping over the damn warped wall. One of those. There's always
Drew
these
did a
really
backflip
cool ones.
off of the wall. He ran up it and did a backflip that time too. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was looking incredibly solid, right through up for grabs, and took out Fallout, and he became the first finisher.
Yes. Very, very talented. I gotta admit, after that 360, everything else kind of blurred out to me because I was still processing what he just did. But guy, very, very fluid, quick, low-key quick. And yeah, he looks great.
That was his first city finals finish. I think first is a good word because that implies there's more coming, and I'm sure there will be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been improving like crazy. He was already so talented the first year that we saw him, but just where he's at now, he's blowing me away by his improvements.
We had some fast forwards after him. We had Yori, who went out on up for grabs, as did Casey Suhaki, who's most famous for his grandpa on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Casey did qualify for Vegas, but unfortunately, Rue did not.
Oh.
But after them, we had Travis Rosen back from his injury last year. For those that somehow managed to forget from his segment in the qualifiers, I was nervous. Like, I was just as nervous as the first time around. I was like, okay, don't injure yourself. Hopefully you can go far enough, fast enough. And he did. He was able to beat the block run again, but fell in almost the exact same way, setting a very aggressive pace. He was faster than Carbone through the wall. Almost peeled off on the first up for grabs bar. So try to switch grip on the second and end up missing and falling there.
Yeah, but at least he made it to the finals, correct? Or Vegas finals?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Because very, very happy for Travis Rosen. This dude is so incredibly talented. And like you, I was a little nervous, but I felt like, he was going to be okay. But yeah, just this guy, it's weird because this is the course I feel like he would do very, very well at just due to his background and the obstacles implemented. But I mean, once again, that up for grabs obstacle, there's very, very little room for error.
All right, next up we had Ryan Stratis, who had one of the weirdest, is it kind of a video editing, I don't know, critique, but just commentary, because it started mid-run, which I always like. I think that's a great way to go with some of the veterans. Just cut in. We don't need a big segment. But then they started to give him a segment after they started showing him running the course from midway. And then they flash back to him beating the wall, and then flash to him tearing his hand on block run. Is like, it's all over the place. Like, it really did not get shown in the order it happened. It was the strangest opening to a segment I've ever seen.
I didn't really think about that, but you got a point. It was a little strange, right? In terms of, it's kind of back and forth.
Yeah. And cutting in his segment interspersed with the different obstacles and everything. It was just a very odd, like, cutting in and out, picture in picture. It was just everything they could possibly throw into his segment they did.
Yeah. But once again, Travis Rosen, though, this guy's a showman. He gets it. And he made it entertaining.
You meant Ryan Stratis there. You said Travis Rosen.
I'm already on the previous one. Sorry. Yeah. Stratis, dude, like, super, super gets it. Ripped off a chunk of skin on his hand. Don't know if that's a good idea, but maybe. I mean, do your thing, man. But
sure.
Oof, that didn't look fun. Bleeding all over the place. But hey, it brought the drama. I sure hope they wipe down those obstacles, because that's a lot of bacteria and DNA and stuff all over the course. Also, I'm pretty sure, what was it? Akbar said something to the effects of he's leaving his DNA all over the course. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that be there in the air. Anyways, but I gotta say, this was very, very fun. I liked this run a whole lot. Travis Rosen, he always brings so much passion to it.
You called him Travis Rosen again.
God, what's wrong with me? Stratis, I'm just gonna call him Stratis. I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. Stratis, yes. He really brought the entertainment and the passion. Really got tripped up on that last obstacle. I forget the name of it. But hey, he made it through, and he showed a lot of really, like, some I don't know, not drama's word, heart, emotion. There you go, emotion. He showed a lot of emotion in the end, and I was really, really happy for him. He's in his home city, and it really showed, and I'm really happy for the dude. So, Stratis, you get tied for the Athletically Profound Run of the Night. Really, really happy for the guy.
Yeah, it was a little unexpected. Like, he's always very passionate, always very entertaining, but he doesn't usually get so choked up. Just being in his home state and everything, I guess, got to him. It was a great run. Very, very happy for him. Ryan, if you hear this, we'd love to have you on the show sometime. Definitely got to make that happen.
Yeah, and I will do my best to not call you Travis Rosen.
Yes, please don't do that. After that,
love you, Stratis.
We had a fast forward of the first husband and wife duo competing in the city finals. What a strange episode. We had the first brother and sister and the first husband and wife.
This is the first husband and wife competing?
In city finals together, yeah.
Oh, okay, city finals. I'm like, that can't be true. Yeah, in city finals, that makes sense, I guess.
Grace
I don't know,
Sims,
do you think, what do you call it, Jesse's fiancé, soon-to-be husband, you think they're going to get there?
Could be. But they were here first. Grace and Brett were there first. Grace Sims going out on the bouncing spider again. And Brett Sims, I mean,
why the guy do this to my man?
Putting the beard on the line again. And Ryan Stratis beats the city finals course again. I would have loved to have seen this segment because I would have thought there's no way Brett's doing it again. And he did. He managed to beat the course. The two of them are crazy. They put their beards on the line. They'll do anything to complete a course.
Dude, it's awesome. I love it. I love these stakes. I as you said, would have loved to see it again. It doesn't have to be a full segment. It could just be like halfway through the run, you know? But I wanted to see Brett Sims complete the course. Like, why you gotta do this to my man? He completed the whole freaking course. Really happy for him. Brett Sims, I love you, man. You deserve more.
Yeah, but like you said, it is a very tight episode. There's really not much to complain about. So I don't know where you put it in, but it was nice to see.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's just too much goodness. Too much goodness.
Yeah. Speaking of, Jodi Freeman takes the course. A tiny 115-pound rookie, a climber, and who does not do a lot of ninja training. And I'm like, well, this guy's getting near the end of the episode. Like, and we haven't heard of him before. It would seem like an odd place to put him. Like, he must do really, really well.
You felt that.
And he did.
I didn't know what to make of this guy, but I gotta admit, I was stunned by how well he did.
Yeah, especially, like, if he did a lot of ninja training, I could see he was good at climbing. I would have thought, okay, well, yeah, he's got that Booty Cothran build going. Like, he's probably got grip strength for days. I'm sure he can do fine. But for somebody who says he doesn't do a lot of ninja training, you wouldn't have guessed. He had no problems on the first half of the course and managed to get all the way to Spider Trap, where the doors, as they point out, are 100 pounds, and he's barely more than that himself. In spite of that, I think he would have had a shot if they weren't so slippery. He managed to get one of them up, but his feet slipped, and he ended up falling.
Yeah, but, I mean, good on this kid. First of all, I gotta say, he doesn't have the Booty Cothran thing where he's apparently really skinny, but he doesn't look it. Like, he's a skinny kid, but he does not look like
that's true.
Super, super skinny. So I was actually really surprised when they kept bringing up his size. I mean, maybe he's shorter than I imagine, but he I don't know. He just looked like, he looked skinnier than most ninjas, but he didn't look that much skinnier than them. That said, man, this kid floored me by how like talented he was through the course. He didn't do anything remarkably like insane, but he was just incredibly fluid through the entire thing. In particular, some more of the technical obstacles, like up for grabs, he was very, very proficient. His timing was great. I mean, this guy, some people just have it when it comes to obstacles, and he might be on, we might be seeing him onto something. So good on this, low-key, skinny, kind of nerdy-looking kid.
All right, after him, we had Jessica Clayton, the single mom of 3 kids, who's in the Army National Guard, last woman to run for the night. And actually, I realized as we're going through this, only the second woman they're going to show. They only showed 2 women in this whole episode. It seemed pretty obvious she was making it to Vegas.
Yeah.
But the question was, how far will she go? They show Grace Sims was on the bubble. So once she got past block run, she had knocked out Grace. Jessica ended up going out on the bouncing spider and looked so disappointed. Like, she looked certain that wasn't good enough to make it through because she didn't get as far as she did in the qualifiers, and I loved when Zuri came over and told her. It was like such a great moment of them realizing that she's going for the first time to Vegas, actually.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Mild correction, she was the third woman on the episode, because Bergstrom's, Baby Bergstrom, the one that got first.
Yeah, she was first.
And then Grace Sims.
Second. Grace Sims was fast-forwarded, though.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, sorry. I pictured Grace Sims as like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when it comes to her, she was, like, her story, I get it. It's cool. I didn't mind the segment. I didn't hate it. It was just, like, there, leave it or take it. But her run was really, really cool because of the added drama of Grace Sims. And you like both people, both Grace Sims and her. But I gotta say, that moment at the end where even the hosts were like, man, she went through, but I don't think she notices because she looks so incredibly stressed and so focused. But when they told her that, or when Zuri Hall, that's her name, right? The new host?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Zuri Hall told her, just the elation on her face was amazing. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Zuri Hall. I think she's been doing a fantastic job this season. And moments like these, and also Ryan Stratis and everything like that, just her in these segments, she definitely adds something that I really, really enjoy. She adds a little bit more pathos to the segments that I just think is thumbs up.
Yes, we should be saying that every episode. I know we have mentioned it, but it definitely bears repeating. Zuri is crushing it this season. Very much enjoying her.
Yeah.
After Jessica, we had some fast forwards of some big names. We had RJ Roman, who went out in the spider trap. Tyler Gillette, who was able to finish with the second fastest time at that point. And Caleb Bergstrom, who went out on Up for Grabs.
These were three runs that, I would have loved to see on any other episode. RJ, he's a fantastic guy. I mean, he was one of the standouts last year. Does this mean he's not making it to the finals?
Oh, he's made it through. All three of them qualified for finals.
Cool. Okay, great. For Tyler Gillette, I mean, he's another rising star, really, really into him, so I'm excited to see what he does in Vegas. And for the other Bergstrom, I don't know. I'm glad at least we got to see how well he does. I didn't need a full run, so I'm cool with it, but I'm glad they definitely highlighted it.
So that left one runner for the night, Drew Drechsel.
Oh, but sorry, just a little. I mean, we all knew, but the moment that Tyler Gillette gets fast forwarded and he's, in second place, like, okay, well, he's not making it to the power tower then.
Yeah. It was kind of silly for that. I was actually thankfully. It's not that I was unaware of it, but I was able to kind of brush that off. I was like, all right, whatever. Let's see Drew's run.
Yeah, I didn't mind because, I mean, it's Drew Drechsel. I mean, for real. Come on, guys.
They made the story basically, can he beat Kevin Carbone's time was like the real question.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for this, I was more excited to just see him on the power tower, and the real story that was building up was, can he do the trifecta? And I love that the trifecta is a thing. It adds the stakes, like ample stakes to the qualifying courses rather than just the Vegas finals. It adds a little bit more to this whole thing, and I really like it.
I like it, and I'm kind of disappointed that we had one so fast. It's like, we had no build up. We had no like, oh my God, will he be able to do all three, like, year after year to kind of build that suspense? Is like Drew comes out right out of the gates and just takes everything.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, we'll see who else does it.
Yeah. So Flip was keeping time for him on the sidelines. He was speeding through with just efficiency and perfection. Like, it was surreal to watch. He had so much time left. So when you get to the spider trap, it's like, oh, it's a given that he's going to be going. And then his foot slipped when he jumped into that, and like, heart skipped a beat there for a second. It's like, oh my God, if he had gone out like that.
That would have sucked. I mean, honestly, I was kind of glazed over because I'm like, all right, come on, let's go through the motions. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the power tower. That slip up, that woke me up a little bit. Yeah.
So he managed to do it and just destroyed everyone's time. He did it over a minute, almost a minute and a half faster than Kevin Carbone. like over 2 minutes faster than Tyler Gillette, practically 4 minutes faster and of Brett Sims, and 5 minutes faster than Brian Strick. Like, just everybody else was left in the dust. It's just insane. You give him you take a little bit of that pressure off from him, and he absolutely destroys. That bodes incredibly well for Vegas.
Oh yeah, big time. And we'll get into it, but I'm very curious to see how the safety pass plays into the runs of ninjas in stages 1 and 2 that have them.
I know we have Flip and Drew with these so far. This couldn't have worked out better if you scripted it.
I mean, let's be real. The producers are quite happy with this, right?
Yes, they are. So that went to the Power Tower. We're jumping ahead a little bit here because it was Kevin Carbone versus Drew Drechsel.
I mean,
they ran.
I mean, Kevin Carbone's amazing, but I mean, unless it's Adam Rail, I'm choosing Drew Drechsel every day for anything.
Yeah, I didn't really give Kevin much of a chance. I didn't completely think it was impossible though, so I was glad to see it played out. I was excited to see the run, and he like Kevin Carbone did a perfectly fine, good job of this, but you almost wouldn't know it because of the way that Drew went through it.
Yeah. Drew's just on another level with his efficiency. The way that he went through the Power Tower, the handholds, he never took any time to pause or anything. It was just an efficient, constant movement. And I mean, it's damn near impossible to do better than that, man. It's just...
the holds weren't moving. Like it wasn't like there was no unnecessary swing or build up. It was just like handhold to handhold as if they were glued in place. Like, he's just so crazy efficient.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better way of doing it than the way Drew Drechsel did it. And I mean, if you ever want a study of how to go through something like this, you watch this run. Just in particular, people on Ultimate Beastmaster, because once again, this Power Tower is very similar to Ultimate Beastmaster. So if you guys if somebody's ever training for that, man, look at the way Drew Drechsel does this.
All right, so that was it for the episode. Drew gets the safety pass for Vegas, which just makes Vegas all the more exciting to see this year.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, at least we don't have to worry about a fluke, something happening on stage 1. I mean, it could happen, but Drew at least will get a redo. More so for me, I think stage 2 is really the worrisome part, right? So at least we won't have to worry about something happening.
All right, I should mention for the skipped ninjas that we might have expected to see that we didn't. The only one I saw that stood out to me was Lucas Gomez, one of the Brazzi Bros, went out on Up for Grabs.
That is unfortunate. Up for Grabs. Did he make it through?
No, he didn't.
That sucks. I mean, Brazzi Bros are the Brazzi Bros, but they definitely have a lot of fans, and I wish them the best.
All right, so before we wrap up this episode, Bijan, did we get any 5-star reviews this week?
Sorry, I'm right now looking back at the final portion. There's some dude doing this amazing, ridiculous dance with a bunch of cheerleaders. I don't know what's going on, but I mean, do your thing, guy. I was like, what is this? Anyways, sorry, 5-star reviews. That's what we're looking at, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have any 5-star reviews? We do. All right, we got one from QB Hill. You're consistently one of the best podcasts for the last 3+ years. Never-ending content and laughs. Fire emojis. As far as the city final Power Tower, I think the level of difficulty is raised with the tower. All upper body with about 40 moves to make. Visually it lacks, but I believe it makes sense. Keep rocking. I fully agree, QB Hill. Visually, it's kind of but the difficulty is there. There is set movements. I don't think it necessarily tests a huge variety of muscle groups, but the muscle groups that it does tackle, in particular the grip strength, it is there. And I gotta say this, it is a little bit faster pace. It's kind of like just zipping there. For me personally, it's a little too quick, but I definitely understand. Very, very tough with the movements, and some people might like it. What about you, Rich?
Oh, I think this was in response to my bashing on it a bit last week, because I want it to be more. I want it to be a wingnut into a salmon ladder. I want them to start mixing it up, the skill sets, not just all upper body. But
yeah,
I respect your opinion, QB Hill. Thank you very much for the review.
Yeah, 100%. And, let us know, guys, because sometimes we have opinions, but maybe, you have a different opinion. But 100% QB Hill, thank you so much for the shout out. You're amazing. QB Hill, you get the 5-star review of the week. Much appreciated. You are the man. You are the best. I don't know if you're a man, but if you're a female, you're the woman. But if you're a man, you are the man. Yes. Also, we got Global Ninja saying best podcast ever. The Global Ninja will achieve. Oh my gosh, what is this again? Oh, God.
I was waiting for you to trip up on it.
Kanzen Senha. Oh my God, somebody, my fiance is Japanese. She's going to be so appalled. Kanzen Why don't you try saying this, Rich? Let's hear it.
No, I haven't got it. You would have heard it on Sasuke. It's whatever Total Victory is.
I know. Dude, it's been a minute. Anyways, the thing they say for Total Victory in Sasuke. Yeah, you'll achieve it. Global Ninja, fully agree. You are the best. Global Ninja, you also get a 5-star review of the week. Yes. Oh my God, so many 5-star reviews. I love it. Everyone, go to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. It helps spread the word of the podcast. It helps get everybody down in the trenches with all of us armchair ninjas, and let everybody else know about the power of the Armchair Ninja podcast.
And make sure you include words that Bijan can't pronounce, because it's amazing. And if you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I'm at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is BIJAN151.
All right, thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all.
See you in San Diego.